Indeed, as the budget countdown continues to Thursday, all eyes will be trained on it to see how the most expensive and the biggest budget yet in Kenya's history will be, and what will be the priority areas. And let's have a look at some of those things we expect to see in terms of what the government will be focusing on. It's a budget, as we've been talking about, 1.77 trillion. That's how that figure looks in digits, and it is the biggest yet. We've been telling you about that. And you'll get to see, as you see now on your screens, what to expect in it. The recurrent, of course, expenditure standing at 20.8% of the GDP, and the recommended, of course, is 8% less, standing there at 12%. Total development expenditure is expected to be at 10.2% of the GDP, and that development expenditure absorption rate, that is in as far as what is felt by ordinary mwananchi, standing at 45%, and that is last year. Food security and agriculture, a key pointer and area for Kenya, and 9.5 billion for irrigation projects to transform from subsistence commercial farming, input subsidy, and the strategic gain reserves, fisheries. Kenya Meats Commission, about 3.5 billion shillings are expected to go to Galana Irrigation Project, 3.6 billion for the first phase in 2013-2014. And there you notice that significant drop in as far as the education and the kind of money that will be going into it. The last financial year having over 270 billion shillings being allocated to education, and now we have that figure standing at 139 billion shillings. Of course, free education is one of the areas that these funds will be going to, as well as promoting teachers and training institutes, sanitary towels as well. And 2.3 billion shillings for more teachers, 5,000 teachers expected to be employed. Now, 17.4 billion shillings for deployment of laptops, digital content, computer and laboratories, and also 53.2 billion allocated for deployment of 1.35 million last year. And that's just to show you what had already been put into the laptop projects, which clearly have not rolled out as we expected to happen early this year. But moving on to healthcare, again, a breakdown of how that is going to be playing out. So 10.5 B allocated for free primary health care and leasing equipment, internship programs, as well as those other areas will see funded, including the Kenyatta National Hospital. And as far as transport is concerned, for ongoing road construction, those very big projects we saw begin during the Kibaki administration, the Uhuru administration, keen to ensure that construction continues, and also repair of roads, and 10 billion going to the new roads they hope to be able to construct. Security, huge right now as the country is grappling with quite, we've seen the last couple of months, insecurity has been a big issue, and that is how that money will be distributed. And notice that 6.7 billion, that's lease financing police vehicles and aircraft, and almost that amount is what is being spent in AMISOM, so Kenyan troops that are in Somalia, which has also become an issue of debate now, with CORD calling for them to come back home. Kenya is spending quite some money to keep those troops in Somalia in the war against Al-Shabaab, and that is how some of those figures are looking. And of course, as we get closer to that D-Day on Thursday, when the budget will be read, we'll continue to analyze for you, break it down. But remember, in our question of the day, we also want to hear from you what your expectations are. And looking back to the 2013-2014 budget, there have been a number of hits and misses as the government faces a myriad of challenges. Michael Karanja took a look back at the current fiscal year budget that comes to a close end of June.